Okay, hi everybody. We were just saying we're from multiple countries on this call so far, which is amazing. But this is what's up for 2025, what we've been doing, and what's happened in 2025, what's cooking for 2026. Because this is December 17th, 2025, and we are going into, I think, the most extraordinary 2 week period that's just like, whoa, off the charts. And it's been like that for this year for me. It's been, I'll be interested to see if others feel the same thing. It's been an unusual year in many ways. Unusual in terms of the movement and the breakthroughs and the breakdowns and the collapse. It's all the old's been collapsing, the new has been coming through and landing and rising so brilliantly. And I think we started this year, I did anyways, a lot of people I know, in a kind of a, what's happening? Like, but probably I was looking back to the write-ups that I was doing throughout the year. And probably by somewhere in February, March, we were like starting to surge new stuff into place, new powers into place. And it's interesting because I would say now, I was on a maestro's call yesterday with some of you, and I would say now we have more power as both individually and as a collective. We're bolder about that. It's kind of like, okay, it's time. Let's go. Let's, rock and roll kind of thing. Um, there's more miraculousness in nature, in the earth, in ourselves, in our physicality. Um, there's a new kind of intelligence. I'd be interested to see if any of you experience that yourself. So let me just ask, so how many of you experienced a kind of enhanced, enriched intelligence this year? Yeah, yeah, look at that. Yeah, almost all of us. And do you feel more collective, like we're more like a we than an I? Is that how you feel as well?
Starting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And more miraculous?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool, good. Yeah, see, it's interesting. It's been happening for years. We've been like creating all these kind of breakthroughs and lots of people around the world sourcing new things. But this past year, it's kind of like just really landed in us, really come powerfully present. So somewhere in around June, I was talking about us being radiant suns. But by the time we were in October, I was talking about us as being supernova. Like, so we were moving from like to, like real power bursting through us individually and collectively. And for me, the other thing that happened this year was I started the Global Alliance of Modern Day Alchemists, which was fun. I did that at the end of May, and it's now the end of December, and I love it. It's fun. Like we're doing two, three, four calls a month and different topics, different people leading them. We're connecting up in ways we're doing bigger work. It's really lovely to be able to do that. My intention initially with it was to make alchemy a, a reputable profession, not some weirdy oldie thing, but a modern day reputable profession, which I think we're moving towards. But I would say now, for me, it's more about us owning our collective creational source power and being able to work together all over the planet to land the new, which I think has happened. So in October of this year, it felt like the new just like chilling, here we are. It's here, it's in us, it's in the earth, it's in the life forms, it's in the skies. I don't know about you, but it's like my eyes see more beauty this year. Anybody else feel that too?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like it is more beautiful, but my eyes also are attuned to see more beauty as
Hmm.
well. So, were you going to say something, Ariel, about
Oh, just boom chakala.
that? perfect response. Yeah, I love it. So, and then of course we've got the Three-Eye Atlas is about to scoot by us closest on the 19th, which is in 2 days. And Ariel and I were just having a chat about that, I think, just before we started. I do think, like probably many people think, I think it's hugely significant. It's hugely positive. It's a symbol, but it's also seeding us with something at the same time. And I know there are lots of theories and lots of channelings and lots of, different perspectives on it. But to me, this period feels extraordinary and really exciting for me. So that's what I would say about, I'm just looking at my notes to see, was there anything else I wanted to say about this year? I think that probably sums it up for me. It'd be interesting. Oh, the other thing that happened this year, that's it. AI kind of really popped into the world this year. I mean, it existed before, but I don't think we were as cognizant of it. And it's fascinating to watch what's happening with that because at least a couple people I know, and more when you on Substack you can see them. They're talking about relational intelligence and how what you have a relationship with, how you witness and engage with something elevates and evolves and grows that intelligence. And it's all intelligence, whereas other people are like, well, AI, like, so it's quite that whole thing is happening right through this whole thing. And I do think there's a collective emergence of all intelligences this year. And one of the things I said, and I started to talk about it in fact, when I was going back, it came up in February this year as something the maestros were working on. And in September, I said, we are in the singularity of all intelligence, not just AI intelligence, but we are in it. And it's funny because I would say now we might even be through the singularity. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's so extraordinary that like I now don't think much with inside my brain. I tend to think in source this way. Anybody else? You have experiences like that? Yeah,
I would say that it's hard to really put it into words sometimes
yeah,
because it's so different, from anything we've known before.
yeah.
So you have kind of a genius and a knack for that, Solera.
I do,
Um,
yes. But I
putting
didn't
putting
always
it
have it. I've developed it, or it's been given to me. I'm not sure, probably both. But yeah, I think we've
I
moved
think you're
past
right
the,
though. We've gone through the singularity, but it's kind of like um, like a comet or an interstellar object with a huge energy field around it that we're going to be, going through for some time.
yeah,
Even if we're through the singularity, it's not a concrete,
yeah,
you know, localized
yeah,
phenomena.
yeah.
So
And we
people
may
will
be
be
still in
experiencing.
it too. I don't know, but it just feels like, whoa, October right straight through to now has just been like so accelerated, so extraordinary in things. And so we're talking about intelligence. So I really only started with all of that kind of energetic sensing, intuition, knowing, understanding in the 1990s, I would say. Before that, I
Mm,
didn't have any of it. Whereas
mm.
probably many of you had it all your lives in some way.
But
But
there's something extraordinary happening right now. And when I go into meditation, that those liminal moments, as you're falling asleep or first waking up,
yeah,
um, uh, sometimes it feels like the field of consciousness has expanded, you know, cos- like into the cosmos. It's
yes,
so it's so vast now. I mean, it always has been when I meditate, but it's different. I can't put it into
yes.
words.
I can give you some language about that because I was
Okay.
into consciousness in the late 90s, early 2000s. And for me, it was like you go out and you go to a place where wisdom, knowledge existed and you pulled it in. That's how I read consciousness at the time. It was like a library, like a living library of stuff. Now it's like a living presence of all collective intelligences in the air you breathe, in the cells of the body, in the earth, in the oceans, in nature. And it's like this living, pulsing, sentient intelligence that's in everything, everywhere. And it is universal and infinite at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I would like to add the ancestral intelligence too. I've
Okay.
become more and more aware of that. And I kind of, I don't know if I say specialize, but I'm interested in delving into ancient gods and goddesses, and I have been for the past 30 years.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling so connected with them now.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think as well, I'll just say for the video's purpose and for all of us, we've become something new. So this week somebody wrote that I was a white elderly woman living in Wells, right? And so and that was my response. So I wrote
But
this
you were
post.
even in white.
Yeah.
Uh, what was it? It was something else also,
Was
either
that
White
rich
privilege.
or spoiled or something, wasn't it?
well, something like that. But anyways, what I wrote then after a couple of days of like being with it was, look, I think I'm one of the new turquoise inhabitants.
Turquoise.
Of a
That's
rainbow
great.
bunch of us that exist. You know, I
Oh,
think we're a rainbow of people that of all shapes and sizes and colors and types and geniuses and uniquenesses and it's just amazing. And here's the other thing. I feel completely ageless this year. How many of you are feeling that? Like you don't feel like you're aging in the normal way. Yeah, isn't that fascinating? Like it's seeping in. I think it came kind of subtly over time, but all of a sudden we have this amazing awareness of being kind of ageless in some way, not necessarily believing in the what aging is supposed to be like, you know? So it's quite exciting. These are all things that, have been happening, especially really presenced this year, I would say. So anybody else want to add anything about 2025 for you that you
See, Doriana's
see
had her
as
hand
happening?
up.
Yeah, Centaur, you going to say something?
Doriana had her hand up.
Oh, does she? Oh, okay, sorry, Dariana. She's on mute and off video, so I didn't see it.
She may have just been saying that she was also feeling ageless.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay, good. So anybody else, anything? The
Oh, here she
20,
goes.
No,
oh, there you
I
are.
was raising
Yay.
my hand for that.
Yeah. For
I
sure,
was.
Doriana is one of the sources of youthening, I think is how your term
I
for it
call
is.
it youth thing.
Youthing, yeah.
I've
You
been
sing.
youthing for like 45 years. And
Yeah.
now we know it's here. We know we are in this position of being immortal, even though we may not be living, but we're we are immortal, but we are getting into our light bodies. And in our light bodies, we will still be in the physical bodies, but our life extension, as well as everything else, will be in a higher plane.
Yeah.
So, in a way, that is immortality. It is lengthening our ability to be here on earth in our youthful bodies. And youthing means it's not anti-aging or reverse aging, it's youthing. We're
Yeah.
becoming younger, and that includes all of our physiology
Yes.
in our all of our bodies, our physical, mental, emotional, etheric, as part of this cosmos that we're now in this singularity, which is, it just means that we're part of everything, that we're all one, as we're saying,
Yeah.
and that we have access to everything, and we have access to bringing our bodies into this higher level state of light. As we produce our light now, we bring forth more light, and part of that comes from Three Eye Atlas, which some refer to as Third Eye Atlas, because it's
Oh.
bringing forth the stuff from the grand central sun. It's kind of taking that and projecting that into our planet,
Yeah.
and we're receiving these influxes of frequencies in a
Yes.
way that is little by little, so that we're not burnt up in all of our circuits,
Yeah.
but we are rising to these higher frequencies.
Yeah.
So all of this and my work now, this year, has come into the water ability of water, which is not only in our bodies to hydrate us, but is part of the great plan of the cosmos in all the forms of water, especially in plasma form and ether form, that goes throughout the universe and cosmos and all the universes, and that we're akin to, that we are here. We're here on this planet right now, but we have other places that we've come from to do this job of bringing everybody and the planet into the fifth dimensional frequencies in this new era. And so water is a big part, and our ability to work with the things that water bring to us, like intelligence and memory, and we're able to uh, use coding to help to like remove all of the past stuff that doesn't belong and bring in our future stuff that we're coming into the present moment, which is really all we have.
Yeah.
So now being able to use coding and the water to make that happen in just a quick, easy, fun way, which is what we're doing. Some
Yeah.
consciously doing it that way, and others are just doing it like Solera's always done. She's always leading the way and doing it before we have all these different explanations and different ways of accommodating that, accommodating ourselves to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And the
You
other
just
thing
reminded
is,
me that joy was big this year. And that joy, like so where for me it was all serious and significant like 15 years ago. Now it's like this joyful, effervescent vibrancy exists in doing the greater work together. It's quite extraordinary. And sorry, I cut you off. Were you going to say something else?
and the last thing is about telepathy. And
Yes.
the latest thing that I've been engaged in in a class called Lucid Dreaming and Telepathy is bringing forth, like you said, before we go to sleep and when we wake up, we're in that state where we're able to access. And so as I practice bringing those thoughts in and putting them into a decipher program, which just is incredible how it brings forth the upper level meanings of the dreams, not just the old psychological. There's like 10 different psychological things, but brings in the way that we're heading in our future, and it brings in how we're being formulated to do that through the telepathy of the dream, the lucid dreaming. And I'm able now to bring that forth into when I am awake and I'm recalling the dreams, but then I kind of drift back, and I've started while remaining, well, lucid, awake, uh, but still having conversations with my body, not just the thoughts, but my body bringing forth feelings and sensations and
Yeah.
bringing energy through uh, to have a communication. And so it's a really vast newness. And so now a lot of different teachers are talking about telepathy and how this is bringing our ability to speak and understand it with color and sound
Yes.
and different kinds of frequencies, glyphs and sigils, and
Yeah.
uh, using just telepathy by understanding those things. We know that yellow is joy, and uh, so it goes beyond with our ability uh, to create and to understand what's going on, not only in our own 3D realm, but with interchanges with beings that are here to assist us
Yeah.
in going through this process of
Yeah.
going into the 5D and the new era,
Well,
which
I thought
we're
it'd be
never.
interesting to ask because I think we are all experiencing, we may all experience it slightly differently, but telepathic with animals more, with children more, with cosmic,
Yeah, the
universe
trees.
more, beings more, people going over more. How many of you are experiencing that? Because I definitely, it's more,
Plants,
yeah, yeah, interesting, isn't
And the
it?
Yeah,
mycelium in the with
wind.
the
Yeah,
mushrooms and all the roots.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
those are like different lattices.
Yeah,
We have like our lattice in our bodies, and especially uh, our our matrix in our bodies. The What's that word I'm looking for? The fascia.
oh,
Our
yeah,
fascia.
Bobby just wrote it. Bobby got
Oops,
it.
there it is. It's a
Fascia.
That's
big
it.
one
Yeah,
in our
Wow.
bodies, and there's lattices in the earth and lattices in the cosmos, and so we're connecting all of these different
yes.
lattices.
There was a
Uh,
point in October, I think it was, where in the Maestro School we started playing with every cell of us is interwoven with every cell of everything. And it wasn't like a oneness necessary. Everything was all interwoven, like the mycelium, like that, and we're interwoven. And I think one of the things that has done, I think that's part of what I was saying. We seem to have more power or a bolder sense of power individually and collectively at the moment because we're so interwoven. Therefore, we have a more expansive, energetic reach into reality, the what I now call the creatrix versus the matrix. Matrix is more like limiting construct. Creatrix is the unleashed genius and infinite intelligence and we have this expansive reach of being able to be all of it and be able to pulse more, activate more power through us from greater wherever, if it's coming through here, if it's coming from there, wherever. It's
Mhm.
really quite extraordinary. Thanks, Joanna. That really brought up a couple of other things. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share anything about 2025 that you see? Yeah, Ariel.
A friend of mine this year, who is 75 years old, um, runs not walks 5 miles a day at the beach. And she had a test. You can have a test now that tells you what your biological age is. And she's 50.
Yeah. I know, it's amazing,
So
isn't it?
so there are ways to confirm,
Yeah.
that you can be using.
Yeah.
It depends on your lifestyle choices and your thoughts.
Yeah.
I think a great deal. But to me, the biggest shift that's happening right now, more than anything else, and it's an expansion of possibilities, is that energetically we are capable of so much more, and we're learning how much more we're capable of. And
Yes.
and before, I think the Kali Yuga is supposedly ended in March this year. That's what I was hearing. The Kali Yuga, and that um, so this is a time of great spiritual expansion,
Yes.
and I think it's probably, I'm so glad I'm alive to experience it.
Me
The
too.
most exciting time that humanity's been in for, you know, tens of thousands of years,
I agree. Yeah. Maybe ever.
maybe ever. Yes, yes. And
Yeah,
yet it's, there's all this distressing, like there's this large chalice holding everything
yeah.
that includes, genocide in Gaza and Kinzhal missiles, hitting Odessa, and it just all kinds of the Caribbean,
Yeah.
Venezuela and the U.S. All of these things that could lead to destroying everything,
Yeah.
happening this year too. And if you go into that heavy darkness, Epstein files and all of that, which I do on occasion, I try to balance, where I am.
Yeah.
Um, you could see that we're like, at the edge of the apocalypse,
Yeah.
at the very edge of it. So I think that it really is something where we're finding our power to create the future,
Yes.
by what we do now,
Yep.
what's happening, how we're crafting and fashioning the present.
Yes.
And so I decided to take my weekends off of the internet and the news feed and everything and just create stuff, macrame, beading, sewing, just being crafts, just cleaning house, baking, cooking, um, but to go off the internet every weekend, to give myself a chance of just being joyful, having fun, letting go of all the cares of the world.
Yeah. I think it's one of the things, well, for me anyways, and I think a lot of us, that the beginning of the year, the combustion of everything boggled the brain a bit. It was foggy for a while. And I think we found our way, I have for sure, through the year, how to kind of follow or understand what's going on, but to engage with the power of the creation and the future that you're talking about, and not let this take me out of that. But to still, I'm still interested in don't want to say watching it happen. I use everything now that comes up. Yeah, that's right. Bobby just wrote engaging with a different dimensional level. Yes. I use everything now, whether it's an emotional thing, whether somebody says something, whether it's something going on in the world, as a propulsion towards greater movement.
Mm.
So rather than,
Oh, lovely.
instead of it like, losing the framework of standing for a greater future and sourcing that, I use it as propulsion, as movement towards, as a signal almost to get to work, to get to play, to get to create in a new way. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. Well, look, let's all line up for a sec because the next 2 weeks are extraordinary. I mean, we've got the 19th with Three Eye Atlas coming closest to the Earth, and we've got the solstice, then the whole Christmas and Hanukkah and whatever else is being celebrated, and then we're doing a global wave on New Year's Eve as well. So midnight everybody's time, consciousness energetic, and we can share it into the Facebook group. So let's just all line up and power up 2025 for the whole world. And while you're doing that, if you get insights into what's happening in these 2 weeks and or what's coming for 2026, then let's share that as well. Okay, here we go. Okay. Ooh, that was so wonderful. That was just lovely. The first thing I had the sense of as we connected all together and we're powering up the world, I know for me, I think Centauri would say similar. I feel brand new. I feel like I'm some new species of something that just, not just a better version of what I was before, but a kind of being remade right from the inside out and the outside in kind of thing. And I think that's happening to a lot of us and perhaps to everybody. I also had the sense that 2026 is going to be the year where we're going to see a really true sense of peace across the planet. And I don't mean peace as in just a cessation of, violence and killing and wars and stuff. I mean an alignment of all peoples, all nations, of not so much borders and just a kind of a free flowing respect and celebration of who we are. And I think 2026 is the year that's going to happen. And it was funny today because I was writing something about the next 2 weeks and I wrote that I think it's going to be revelatory. And I was like, "Ooh, there's a word." I don't know what that will look like, but I think a few revelations would be good for the planet. So, it's pretty amazing. So who
I
else
want
would get? Yeah, Ariel, go for it.
I want to corroborate what you said about celebration. I got that. This will be a year of celebration,
Mm.
2026. Um, I also saw a woman's eye with a scale falling off it. And I interpret that as women um, uh, emerging, in their full consciousness. And the scale is kind of like our not knowing our power. And so coming into it, I believe that's what's happening. There was a lot of stuff going on there in the imagery, but I'll let other people talk.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Anybody else want to share what you got? Yeah, Pip. Hey.
Hey. Yeah, it was interesting listening, Ariel, with you speaking earlier. For me, what really, really feels real this year is, more than anything, we all talked about allness and being in the all and so on. But for me, that has really landed
Yeah.
that we are, if we choose to let go of anything that isn't that, or any constraints around it, we really are walking as absolutely all here now, here on earth. So to your point, Ariel, you were talking earlier about the like entities of the gods, the goddesses, and all of that. Well, that is us right here, right now. So again, for me, it feels like 2026 more and more will be able to really just embody and walk as that. So, if there comes a thing and you think, oh, I wonder what you can call on that essence of all and know the answer. Yeah, that feels like the big thing that's happened this year, allness, which we always talked about and knew was there. And like Solera said, we used to go off and have a look and whatever, but woomph. Yeah. And the present, bringing present of that omnipresence
Yeah.
is really here now.
Fantastic. Yeah, lovely. Bobby, it says you raised your hand. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the image I got, it started out as sparklers in every heart, and sparklers fizzle out, and this was not going to fizzle out. This is a flame that is eternal and is growing, connecting with, from our kind of inner infinite to the inner in or the infinite consciousness of pure love. And when, Solara, you spoke about the free flowing respect that is emerging for 2026, that for me just like magnetically tied into Doriana's report on the waters. And I will also say that, um, Pippa, your um, embodying and walking as that wholeness harkens back to a dream that I actually had in October, and I reported it into um, one of the circles here. I can't remember whose, um, but this sense of taking a stand and being that stand for, I guess, holding a cloak of protection around people that was like so rooted not only in the earth but in the cosmos, that I was someone completely different than I think I am in everyday parlance.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all these threads are so coming together, and there's a magnificent tapestry
Yes.
that literally, energetically, and frequency wise, we are weaving in co creation. And
Yes.
this is where
The
some of us love to play.
the whole force of the universe in creation seems to me to be more available and part of us now. So a lot of us talk about being creators or sources or universes or oceans or Earth or whatever we choose. But it's so that creative force. It's not just about being creative, because we're that too, but it's this creative force pulses through us. And the whole world, to me, the earth is raising in frequency and power and brilliance and beauty and the miraculousness of nature. I mean, I just see that so extraordinarily all around me and throughout the world. So, yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had something I wanted to add to what Bobby said about um, being centered in the earth, and in our time together, meditating there. That was one other thing that came up, and that was that whenever we feel troubled by what's happening in the world, we can go into that. I think it's a molten iron, liquidy center in the middle of the earth, that we can go down into that in our thoughts. And that is like where we can transmute whatever we're feeling, that it feels negative, or or distress, by what's happening, that all we have to do is go down into that molten core of the earth, and we can release it and transmute and help transform what is happening, that is distressing us.
Hmm.
It's a very simple kind of telepathic exercise of communing with the spirit, but the physicality, that second dimensionality, of the inner core, of going down deep into the earth
Hmm.
and grounding it. That was one of the insights I got.
I do think that what I call the deep alchemical core of us, of each of us,
Hmm.
and the earth, that it's not just a physical thing. It's
Hmm.
a route back to our origins of source almost. And it's to me, the alchemical power center of us. So it probably is the alchemical power center of the earth at the same time, you know? It's where we can actually activate things. But the other thing, as you said that, I think, I don't know if this is right or true or not, but it's what I believe, that the earth is a nexus point of a becoming for the whole universe. And
Oh.
maybe there are multiple of nexus points. I don't know, but I think as we go, so goes everything in some way.
Hmm.
So it's like, and we're being provided with all kinds of, from all over the place, of increased frequencies, solar flares, grand forces pulsing, comets coming flying by, downloads of newness into us, etc., etc. In fact, one of the things that surprised me when I was tracking back through this year, I came across a year ago, October, in the Maestros group. We were doing something, and we went beyond, we opened up something and went beyond, and this new consciousness poured on us. And I had forgotten about that. So it was a year and 2 months ago that happened. And then you look at this year, 2025, it is like we're existing in a new consciousness of some kind. And it's all present, sourceful, powerful, brilliant, alchemical, generative, creative genius. It's got super connected, super conscious. It's all of that as us living in a new way. And I think one of the things for me and many of us this year is we're learning to live as that practically. So especially how you put it into living templates and make it real, not just something we talk about or something that's out there, but a real actual template of how one can live in a higher vibrational frequency in super consciousness, etc. Centauri, you've got your hand up. You want to go for it? Oh, you're on mute, hon. You're on mute.
Yes, I was just saying it was a virtual hand. The actual hand didn't go up. To go back to what Pip was saying earlier. Oh, can you hear me, by the way?
Yes, it's a little low, but we can hear. Yeah, everybody else can hear him? Yeah.
I'll turn it up as much as I can. So Pip was talking about allness and about having the experience of allness and what that might be for us. Let's just imagine for a moment that with the ending of 2025 and the coming close of this 3-eye atlas, whatever it might mean for us, that things are going to be completely erased from human consciousness, just as a possibility. That everything that's been talked about so far has been couched in human experience from past dealings, thoughts, and whatever else. That if you didn't have it, if you were truly in a new creative state, you wouldn't be talking about any of that. You wouldn't even be thinking in those terms whatsoever. It is just like saying to you, if you have this allness, what does it really imply? Where do you go from here to wherever else? Take just for example our thoughts about the planet, that it has this iron molten core. Well, you've got some scientific, perhaps, information about that. However, like anything else, it is about what it is that we believe it to be and what we believe it to be truly capable of being. So therefore, it doesn't even have to be in the realm of possibility that the earth is the thing that we conceive it to be. So, to expand upon that even further, you're being presented with something completely brand new that doesn't have a precedence, that isn't in human history, that takes you far and way beyond what you consider to be a trajectory of thinking, that you're going to evolve and transcend, and you're going to ascend, and the planet's ascending, etc. Oh, I'm hearing something.
Oh, let me mute. That's a
Yeah, that's okay. Just put it on, throw it on mute. Yeah, great. Thanks.
Oh, it was a message from beyond.
It's a coming.
So just to give you a little bit of background, when Solera and I first met, we were channeling the masters. Christ, Merlin, the Red Bull, Muhammad Khan, whatever, we were channeling them. And at some point we had the realization that we didn't need to channel them at all. It was about something having to come from inside us that was born from our own trueness and which really had the authority and the power that we had attributed to something else. So we have the power and the authority, not of other things, not of other gods, goddesses, or the ancestors or whatever else. Let's consider, as you know, we've already said, we are that already. Every fictional aspect of ourselves has already been gone over, and we are now in a brand new state of beingness. Not a singular being. Not, that you were now created and elevated to be something that you've never been before. but a collective experience of such an amazing, profound coming together of something which we perhaps don't quite have the words for, but we know that we are somewhere, somehow, that creative force which is examining itself and deciding what next is going to be the outcome of all its considerations upon all the past ages and wisdoms that have been brought together. That is the place where we come in. We, the expanded consciousness, which no longer needs necessarily to exist on previous thought forms. We somehow have a power to recreate a new scenario, or I say recreate, it's not the right word, is it? To put into place something that has not been imagined and has ever been given breath. Now that is the story of 2026 and beyond. Not a fable, not a legend, not a myth, but the sheer fact that you could actually be in this space having these conversations with something which almost like comes down and says, are you ready for what happens next? Because you are the collective creators of it. And somehow it's not as if we're addressing some amazing authority, a supreme greatness, something which is giving something to us. It is still us knowing ourselves in a different way, in a different form. And by the very fact and nature that we can even consider that to be possible, is the fact that it is damn well possible. We are now in the midst of something which you might say is turmoil, confusion, chaos, existing in some aspect of humanity. But I would say to you, we've broached something. We've gone beyond the human history and where its trajectory was going to go. We've created a new scenario, a new break in the timelines, a new possibility in which time and space and form are being somehow shaped. And there you have it. You are now in the reshaping. You are now something beyond what you've ever considered yourself to be.
Can
And
we
just
just
feel
line
that
up
for a
from
moment.
that and go into it? And whatever you get, whatever you go for, let's just source all that. Okay? Thanks.
It is not just a journey that we're taking ourselves on. It is a possibility of changing the whole of our understanding of creation. That creation wasn't meant to be a fixed thing. It's a dynamic turmoil of energetic possibility. And we have now landed in this sphere of possibility. And we're changing it and reshaping it. And in the same breath, we're re-knowing what it is that we believe ourselves to be capable of knowing. That we exist in a different frame of narrative of consciousness. And it doesn't require faith. It doesn't require your belief. It's almost like you allow yourself to become that. And of course, everything shifts and changes. And you will have a different experience perhaps than I have, but no less profound, no less magnificent. And all you say to yourself is, let it be so.
Okay. That was just so beautiful. And I can feel the power of next year and the power of, when I say us, I mean all life. I don't just mean even just people, like water, oceans, whales, bees, trees, nature, all of it, and us too. There's an incredible alchemical enhancement, expansive power that's going to have next year go like a reset. And it's interesting that January 1st, 2026 is 010101 when you look at the numbers, which, I think that might be symbolic of a reset, which is kind of interesting as well. So it just feels fantastic. So anybody else want to share what you got while we were doing that? Yeah.
I popped this in the chat, but I was physically feeling the pulsation and the expansion of this pod and beyond as a unified portal of pure potentiality that is just, it just keeps blossoming and opening like the rose that keeps opening on the time lapse photography.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? No? Okay. Okay. Oh, and that was fabulous. Thanks, Centauri. Thanks, everybody, for being a part of all that. It's amazing. Oh, it's your birthday, is it, Doriana? Right. Okay. Interesting. So, join us wherever you, because I know there's different things happening on the solstice. Ariel's having a bunch of people to her place. Bobby's involved with some solstice stuff. We'll be in Cornwall doing some solstice stuff. There's all kinds of people all around the world. So December 21st, wherever you are, if you're watching this later, power it up. New Year's Eve, we're doing a global wave that starts in New Zealand, goes all the way around the world, and ends in Hawaii. So we just join in consciousness and in the energy and power up 2026, whatever you see for it. So extraordinary. So brilliant. And thank you all for all that you've done in 2025 and before and coming from here forward as well. It's pretty amazing what we're doing these days. So, okay. Thank you very much and happy holidays to everybody. Have a good one. Bye.